Mm. I'm down in the dungeon, drinking my coffee from my tree. Yeah, my hair's still pretty terrible, needs conditioning. So anyway, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Let me see if I can get you to hear me. Okay. Yeah, I haven't got you on a stand today. I'm just fluffling this because I want to get this done. So what I'm doing today is racking off my strawberry wine, and I'm racking off my Frangipani wine, and I'm bottling off my strawberry wine. And I just thought I'd let you know there's a big process in this to do, and it's really interesting, and I'm finding it really relaxing. I had tried to put the music on, the music wouldn't come on, and then I thought, oh, why don't I video it? So here I am down here videoing it, and I just want you to see. I'm only going to do a short one. I'll just give you the idea of what I'm doing. So at the moment I have got, just come over here. So in here, oh, hang on, I can turn you round, can't I? Hang on, which is it, this one. So in here I've got the wash. So you get some sanitizer wash and you wash everything. So these demijohns have already been washed and sanitized. So today I don't really have to do this one. I have to wash and then sanitize as well. These ones have already been washed and sanitized, and I had the corks in so that nothing can get inside. So today I just have to sanitize those. But I've got all the little fermenting parts, the stoppers in, and so they're in the wash. I just want to make sure everything is beautiful and clean. Yeah, I'm down here in the dungeon. Yes, everything looks a bit crazy. And this is my frangipani, which I'm going to be putting into the demijohns once they are washed and cleaned. And you can see it smells beautiful. I wish you could smell it. And at the moment it's reading the right thing, and I've got a strainer. I've been collecting different things to be able to use to take off the frangipani or the fruit or whatever it is that I'm using. And yeah, I have all bits and bobs all around the place. So, and then this is the strawberry wine, which I should be bottling a bit later today. And these have all been in the demijohns for quite some time, as you can see. This is what I use to test the alcoholic content in it. That's a bit of a thermometer. But these ones, I can take this off now. Just have it round it to protect it, just to get it the right temperature there. And so they have got strawberry wine in. You can see the colour there. Not so much in the green ones, you can't see what's going on. But I'll be testing the alcohol content in these and see how we go with them. And then I'll be bottling off. I think I might bottle 3 off, and I'll keep 2, and I'll try to get them to ferment a bit longer. What happens is that we're in summer now, and my last batch that I made was in winter. And so in winter, it I've got to drink some more of this. In winter it takes a little bit longer to ferment, well, yeah, and bubble up. And when you put it in the demijohns, it just takes a little bit longer because it's cooler weather. In summer I found, and that took 4 months to make that last one I made, and it was a beautiful dessert after dinner, strawberry wine. And this time I don't know where you are. Where am I looking? Up here. Oh, the camera's up there. Okay. So last time, yeah, so it took 4 months. This time it was ready in like 4 weeks. It was stopped bubbling. It was ready to go. So I just want to get that off now, at least most of it. And I'm going to keep 2 on just to see what happens. This is a test and test and go type situation. So yeah, probably need, what have I got here? Okay. Just put a different type of stand here because what I had it on was actually a soft surface, and so you couldn't hear what I was saying. This one, hopefully you'll be able to hear what I'm saying. And I just need something to hold that. Let's get a coffee percolator and see if that works. Sometimes you have to, you know, sort of get kind of things happening differently here. Okay, yes, that seems to be good. I'll talk while I'm doing. That might be the situation that I want. So yeah, I'm just washing. This is my stirring stick, and wash that and sterilize that often. I have also some, oh, I don't know where my other bits and pieces are. Hang on, I've got to find things. Hang on, I'll be back. I'm just grabbing something. And, yeah. Okay, I am back. Just was looking for my plunger, which is this one. So I'm just going to quickly give that a wash. 2, chuck that in there. Because when I want to taste this Frangipani and the actual strawberry wine, I just want to give it a taste. So I need all those washed, and I need them to be sterilized. Stir. I've got another one over here. Actually, well, I'd really love this to be the washing one. I don't really want that to be, but I can put it on a shelf and just there, and I can tip this in. I'm just washing for the time being. Yeah, so hang on a minute. So you can just wash and then put a little bit of water in to rinse. That way you've got nice, clean. Just want to make sure really with this one that they're a little bit tricky to get the water out. Hang on. You've got to sort of do this a little bit to get the water out because you've got an S bend. Okay, so just going to stick them in this one, which I'll just put this. So this is the sterilizing bucket, which I'm going to tip into the other one, but I've got no room here, so tip that in, and then I want 2 tablespoons of this sanitizer, and it goes into here. So everything is really sanitized and washed and clean, and you do that a few times. I'm just going to put this over here. You probably can't see this. I need 2 of those. I can't lift it. I've got to put slowly. Does it? How are you? Hi, everyone. G'day. Yeah, here I am. Does anyone make their own wine or ginger beer? Whoops. Or beer. Where am I? Yeah, where am I? Oops, hang on. I'm on the East Coast. East Coast. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to keep this little bit of water there. And I'm just going to whack a couple of tablespoons in. And that'll be my sterilising. So I'm going to wash and sterilise. I use these containers just for this. I don't use them for anything else. I don't wash in them. I don't use them to carry bark or anything. Hang on, I'm just going to do this. You probably won't be able to see me, but there's one. And you just, measure out to the best of your ability 2 of those tablespoons. And that's all I need in 5 litres. Hey, and I'll be using my trusty spoon. So it's really good to be using this for washing and then sterilising because you're not using your hands. Oh, it's making me cough. Okay. Can't see what I'm doing. Hang on, I'll turn you around. There. So I'm just, this is in here. This is the sterilizer. I've got some more bits and pieces there. So this is what I did recently. I actually, in the cupboard, so I've got my wine making, the light's not on, wine making things in the cupboard now, which is really good. And it's along with my face painting things and, all sorts of arts and crafts that I have in this cupboard. But it's really handy here because all my doings for winemaking are here, and this is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm not doing any art and crafts, so it's really handy to have the wine rack right there on the shelves. And if I start doing another project, they might get pushed along and move to a shelf further down. But at the moment I'm bottling, I'm getting all this done, and this is my trolley. I've got more bottles down here. Well, these are the fermenters. I've got bottles underneath which they'll be coming out because I've already washed them. They just need sterilising. And yeah, I'm ready to go. So I'll just grab these ones that I've got in here that I've already kind of washed. Hi. And stick them in. So it's a simple process. You're just popping them in. I just give this a little fill up, make sure it gets full of the solution. I've got little bits down here. Also have to take these out. See how it takes a little while to empty these ones. Sure, there's a quicker way. Anyway, and so that goes in there as well. So everything goes in there. Yeah, it's a bit of a process. This is a different type of pressure lock. So it goes in. And just got to find the other part of it. It's in here somewhere. Where are you? Oh, there it is. So, and this bit goes on top. So everything's good there. So then next is my... so I'm washing this bottle because the others are washed and sterilised, but I just got to re-sterilise this morning because it's been a little while and I haven't done it, even though they've been sitting there. So just fill it up, give it a good shake. This is the washing one. And I'll just put my glasses on. Hang on a minute. Just want to see what they're saying here. Sydney, hi. Sydney, yeah. Could tell because it's overcast. Yes, it is overcast today. It's overcast, yes. And I've been for a swim. I had a lovely swim this morning and had coffee with friends. So that was really, really nice. All right, I'm just going back over here. Put you back over here. Okay. There we go. Just so I can get in here, drink some more coffee. this coffee this year has been absolutely beautiful because we had a lot of rain last season, so the cherries got really, really big and juicy, you know, really, really lovely, and it's so beautiful. And I'm using a different type of percolator. Last time I was using a small percolator. This time I'm using a bigger percolator so that I can make cold coffee, you know, like coffee, what do you call it, iced coffee. So I thought, oh, if I percolate more, I can have some during the day. Don't necessarily have to, I don't have it after 12. It's, you know, pretty powerful. It's pretty crazy having it after 12 because it really makes you happy. And it really is basically energizing. You know, I get a lot of energizing. All right, yeah, peps me up, makes me woohoo. So just give it a good clean. I've got I'll just get the thing out. And so because I've got the shelf so handy, you know, I can grab things really quickly when I need them. Just give that a little wash first and then whack it in. And most of my demijohns are really lovely and clean. These ones, thank you, Graham. These ones I got from a beautiful friend I met at Prana Fest doing yoga and meditating and doing all this beautiful stuff. And he offered to give me some beautiful demijohns, and I've accepted that offer, and it's really lovely because I can have more than one batch on at a time. So this is why I've got the Frangipani and the strawberry wine on, because he was so generous as to offer me these beautiful things. And Graham, if you're listening, I do have a couple of bottles for you, so don't worry about that. So I'm just going to empty this out. This is the one that needed washing. The other ones are already washed, so I only have to sterilize those ones. All right, I'll just run a little water in it just to clear the bubble. Okay, nice. All right, that's ready to go in as well. I'll just leave that there for a moment. Turn that tap off if it's doing anything. And then I do have to do all the bottles again. So I've already done the bottles. Sorry, I heard something. I have to do the bottles again because when you've done them and given them a wash, I've got to take these lips off, and then I have to wash them, and then definitely give them the sterilizing thing a couple of times. So these have all been washed. I haven't taken these off yet. This will be happening, but today they will be getting sterilized. I might even just because I've got the wash water here, I might even just quickly dunk them in, shake them all, and do it all over again. So it is a little bit of a process, but you do want it clean because you don't want any dust or dirt on the bottles or anything like that. And then these are going into there, so I might just give it, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a shake up with some of the water first, and then I'll quickly chuck it in the why not, I say, why not? Just clean the outside of it as well, you know, just put a little beautiful, and they'll be ready for sterilizing. So we come over here. I don't know how I'm going to get you there. How am I going to get you there? Oh, maybe here. Okay, so there you are. And I've got a towel, so I'll get the towel ready to put them on. And I'm going to put them here. I've got plenty of clean tea towels that can go there. And they can go here. I've got dripping happening here. It's all right. So, don't know what you can see. What can you see? Well, you can see everything happening. All right, so I'm just going to quickly sanitize. Because these are going to be used pretty quick smart. As soon as these have, these ones don't have to dry out too much. It's mainly the bottles, you know, give them a little dry, hang them upside down for a little bit, and then they'll be ready to go. Okay. And this is the different one. It's a bit different. That one. This is how this one goes together. Pop that on the top, and then you've got a little piece on the top that goes on there. But at the moment, I'll just turn it upside down and just drain it slightly for a moment. I've got the baster. And that's beautiful. And so with this bucket that I've got, which is clean and sanitized, I don't know if I've sanitized it. Hang on, chuck some sanitizer in and give it a sanitize. And this is really a good way of just making sure everything's dry and not falling over. I can just chuck it in the bucket and it's standing up, which is good. Where are you? There. So it's all in the bucket standing up. I can leave that there. They would have stood there on that side, but not great. So then I need to do these demijohns, which are so beautiful. This is about a 5 litre one. I just want to stick it in and get some water in there. Okay. Okay, and that's just a matter of giving it a good swig around for a while. And because they're already clean, they've been cleaned and sanitized, it's really a matter of just redoing it, making sure they're fine. I'm going to put this one in that bucket, and that'll be the first of them. And then these ones have to be sanitized again, and they will be and they will be ready. So okay, you just make sure these are upside down so they can drain. And just got to make sure that I've got another bucket, which I'll have to get hold of, but for the time being I'm going to chuck it over here so that it's, and then the last one. So here we go with the last one, and then I can rack this off. I think I need a new bucket. I think there's a hole in my bucket. Dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in my bucket. Dear Liza, a hole. Well, fix it, dear Henry. Dear Henry, dear Henry. Well, fix it, dear Henry. Dear Henry, fix it. With what shall I fix it, dear Henry, dear Henry? With what shall I fix it, dear Henry? With what? Yeah, well, probably if we go to the shed and get some, you know, tub of silicone and stuff out, that might do for the time being. Otherwise, we might need to buy a new bucket. Dear Henry, dear Henry. Okay, so beautiful. We got the 3, and I think that will only take 2. But I just wanted to make sure I've got the 3 ready, standing by. And I've got some little ones as well, so I'm just going to do a small one as well, and just on standby anyway. And it doesn't matter if you've washed too many. It just means that you can here's a small one. And so see, I keep them with this on the top, and so you can just pull that off, and that keeps any nasties in there. And this, just if I've got a little bit, I can quickly, and these have been washed, but I might just give this a little wash to get the outside clean. Hang on. Because they have been sitting, okay. Yeah, they have been sitting in on that trolley for a little while. So yeah, I've just given it a little clean, and then this will be the sanitizing part. Yeah, let me have a little, get my glasses on. Hey, how you going? Yeah, I don't know how this works. It doesn't really say the name. Maybe I haven't got it on properly. I don't know. I'll just have another little bit of my coffee. Look at it. It's beautiful. Don't know if you can see that. But here we go. And I leave a little bit off the end because I just let it get around the top there, that sanitizer as well. So as I'm doing it, I just lift my hand away, sanitize the top as well. Okay. And there we go. So that's the bubby one, in case we've got only a small amount. So I may need the bigger one or the smaller one. I'm not sure. I'm hedging my bets for that one. Okay. So here we go, here we go, here we go. Yes, so we're back here. So then usually I use the washing one for standing up the bottles. So they stand in the bottles, but they're very full with this mixture. So really what I need to do is get myself another one of those containers, and it looks like that one has a hole in it. So I mean, it stopped leaking. No, it's still leaking. Okay, it's still leaking. So, oh, geez. So these are where I've got these at the moment, just sitting here, drying off a little bit. And then my next job, and I'll just quickly do that while I'm waiting for them to dry, and I will give this one little go. I just want to, yeah, let's definitely make a list of things I need. I need a list of things I need, and I need another one of those. I need 2 of those now. So this is I can use any bucket, I think, for this. So I'm going to just quickly run outside if I can. Let's see. Yes, I can. Hang on a minute. La 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 la. Bucket. Okay, so I've finished with the sanitizers, so I'm going to put them back into the cupboard space, which I love. And just pop over here for a minute. Just put this back into the bucket. They don't have to dry completely. I mean, now, so what I'm doing is I've got this strainer and I'm just going to strain off as much of the frangipani as possible, and then I can start to fill those demijohns. So this is beautiful, beautiful frangipani petals. And I'm just going to rest that there because it's quite heavy. Just going to let that strain. Now, oh, that's why I can't use this one, because I want to use the muslin. I knew there was a reason why I couldn't just use any old bucket. I do have to use a bucket. So hang on a minute. Just wait. Look, they can stay there. They can stay there. Wait a minute. Yeah, I need the bucket that's been sanitized, and the one that's been sanitized, because I'm going to use some muslin and drain it. So I've got some muslin and it's been sanitized and washed, cleaned. It doesn't look it because it's been used a few times, but that's okay. Just use it a few times and then toss it out once you've done that. So that's what I'm doing. I've got a strainer here too, which I'll be using. Okay, and this is my beautiful strainer, and it goes on here. So at the moment, I'm just going to, I want everything sanitized. Like, you don't have to use a clean bucket, honestly, whereas I don't want anything touching anything that's not sanitized. That looks pretty good. I think I'll just use the 2 layers, and I'll just get this back out. Going to leave it sitting on the side for a minute, and that lets it drain. And let's taste a little bit, shall we? Oh, wow, nice little sparkler, that one. Lovely little sparkle in it. Just going to stick some of it in here. I don't know if I'll be able to get it all in here. Probably might be able to do half, I'd say. Okay. Need a hook on this, really, but it's not going down. That's the main thing. And so then I just get the muslin and pull it up and give it a little squish, because I want to keep as much of that wine as possible. You know, if you're making a lot of it, you can miss this part and not strain it, but you do actually end up with a fair bit by giving it a bit of strain through some muslin. Muslin. So beautiful. Yep. Oh, it's a lovely deep colour. It's a lovely deep colour, this one. So I just let it sit and let the wine go down. They'll be ready as soon as I am ready to go. Oh yes, why haven't I got gloves on? Well, for one thing, I'm allergic to latex, and so that's really not good. Latex, yes, I know, latex. So I can't do gloves, can't do condoms, can't do, you know, some of those things. But I worked in a nursing home back in the day, and we never used gloves for anything. We never poisoned anyone or anything. We just wash our hands constantly. So there's a constant flow of washing. My hands have been in the wash, and they've also been in the sanitizer. So they're pretty clean. You've really got to think about your cleanliness when you're doing this. And even if you're not using gloves, and in fact, I can tell when someone makes me a sandwich whether they've had latex on or not, because I can smell it on the sandwich. That's how allergic to it I am. All right, well, I think that'll do. I mean, there's still plenty in there. You can squeeze and squeeze and squeeze till the cows come home, really. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to squeeze that, leave that, pour it in the small jug. Can you see that? Maybe not. Hang on. Turn it slightly. Okay. Then we're just going to pour this into here. And you don't worry if it's a bit, you know, the colour's a little off. That's okay. Okay. And then you can put the, see, it's still giving. And then you can put this into the bucket ready for the garden, and my garden loves all that. So it's really lovely to have that compost. Okay, and then we do it all again. And then once this is off the top, I mean, you don't have to do it. If you want to put your siphon in the bottom, you can do that as well. But I prefer not to. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that in there. I'm just going to grab a little bit more. And this is the process. It tastes, it's going to be lovely, this one. It will settle, and the sediment will settle once it gets in the demijohns. And you can rack it off twice if you're not keen on the colour of it. This one's actually got a lot of colour in it. Don't know if I can't remember if my last one had a lot of colour in it. Let me see. No, it's pretty clear, actually. So that's why it goes in the demijohns and it settles in there. This is one of the last bottles of the Frangipani wine, which is, whoops, the last one. So you can see it's fairly clear. It's a lovely colour, actually. Don't know if you can see that. It's, yeah, it's lovely and clear. So, I only have one bottle left from my last batch, which was, when did I do that? Quite a while ago now. And I've given them to family and friends, so I only have one left, which I may drink myself at some point. I'm not a big drinker. I just like to have a little bit every now and then. So it's not like, you know, every night type drinking. It's just every now and then I think, wow, it's been a while since I've had a drink. So, so I really savour it when I have it. I really, really love it, and I take a lot of time to drink it. I sort of just sip it and really enjoy the flavours, and the flavours really come through. You know, it's not a drink to just sit there and gurgle it down in 2 seconds. It's, you know, you really have to taste, you know, the frangipani in it, smell the frangipani. Think of, you know, the floral fragrance and things like that. So this is coming along good. I'm getting all the beautiful, beautiful goodness out of there. But I think, no, I won't go too much further. I think that should be fine. Tip this for my compost. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a few other ingredients in it as well. A little citrus, you know, a little citrus is in there. But you really don't taste the citrus once it's, you know, once it's been in the demijohns. You really don't notice that. It's more, well, you know, I suppose if you're looking out for it, yes, you can. But yeah, I'm just making my mother's wine, and these were her recipes, so I'm trying to follow them as close to her original recipes as possible. And yeah, Mum used to have a little, we had an old Queenslander growing up, and she had a little room and a dressing room attached to it. And my father, because it used to have a veranda all the way around, I think it was only like a one-bedroom Queenslander, and it had like a dining room, a kitchen, little, yeah, dining room, kitchen, lounge room, one bedroom, and a little, I suppose, a dressing room. And on the other side was veranda all the way around the front and the sides. And so my dad and my, yeah, I don't know, his friend, got to pulling the wall out and building them in and putting 4 bedrooms down there for us 4 kids. And that was our 4 bedrooms. So we're really only big enough for a bed and a little tiny cupboard in each room, which was absolutely beautiful. Hey, how you going? I don't know what this is. It's talking to me. Oh, I hate it when it talks to me. I haven't got my glasses on. Wait a minute. Because I scrunch up my little face. Scrunch it all up. Yeah, I know. It's extremely low storage. Yeah, okay. Hey, everyone. So, yeah, I'm telling you a story about, yeah, how this all eventuated and why I'm making this wine. Because it was I think I can put a little bit more in there. So anyway, so he built that, and then, you know, there was a thing happening there where we all had a bit, but Mum eventually started making this wine. She used to do all sorts of classes like meditation and yoga and oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting down to it. She'd do all this, you know, stuff like that, but, you know, most people would think she was a bit of a hippie chick and she was an artist. She could paint you as you were. She was a master artist. She went to, you know, these classes, but I think she was a natural, honestly. And anyway, so she started making this wine in her little dressing room. And of course, like you do, you go to a class or 2 and then you just start to make your own wine. Well, that's what she did. And on a Sunday, we would all have like a Sunday dinner, and it would usually be some sort of roast, you know, roast lamb, roast chicken, roast beef, you know, just a roast lunch. And my father would be home from work because he worked day and night, generally was never home really, but on the weekends he was home. So we basically got to see Daddy, and we would have lunch with Daddy, and it was all beautiful, you know. So, you know, and Mummy would set it all out beautifully, you know, and we were just little children, and we'd think, you know, how it was just a ritual. It was a ritual. See, people forget about rituals these days, and they don't really have rituals anymore, do they? I mean, it really becomes a norm. Well, I suppose their rituals might be on a Sunday we go and eat McDonald's, you know, and sit in the park, or go and sit in the car and eat McDonald's, you know, whatever that ritual is. But ours was sitting down to dinner at a table and having this roast, and then after that we'd go out and wash up, and I would always try to help Mum wash up, you know, and Sundays sort of was grace day, I suppose. You know, we didn't have to do a lot of work, whereas during the week we'd have to wash our own plates and things like that. And I remember my brother paying me 20 cents to, you know, do his day off so that he didn't have to do the washing up and the drying up and putting away. But anyway, in saying that, hang on a minute. Yeah, we're getting there. Where was I? The house. Oh, yeah, the dressing room. So this became like a tradition that we'd have Vegemite jars. Now, Vegemite jars were very small at the time, and they had this lift-off lid. But the little glass that it came in, Mum would wash them up, and it was a really good size for us children to have milk in or water in or whatever it was. And so we would get this nip, or someone said to me this morning, a shot of this beautiful wine. Now, I mean, it's low alcohol, really, but for children, it's a nice little flavour, you know, it's a lovely little taste. And I think that's enough. Anyway, so then, you know, after that, we'd all have dessert. You know, we'd have this little dessert, whatever that was, bread and butter pudding, or treacle tart, or upside down pineapple cake, or, you know, just some type of dessert, you know. And then we'd go and watch the afternoon movie, you know, whatever that was, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, John Wayne, you know, just, you know, Greta Garbo, you know, all the movie stars. It was just amazing, and we loved it. And we all, you know, would sit on the floor we had these horses, little horses stuffed with bean bags, and we would sit on those, and we'd watch this piece has nearly had it, I'd say, this piece of muslin, but I think it'll do this time for me, and then I can throw it, and I can just get rid of these ones eventually. But I've got brand new. I bought a couple of meters there, and where was I? And it's okay if it's got a little bit, don't worry if it's got a little bit of stuff in it, because you'll be putting that in the Jimmy Johns and it'll all be fine. Where was I? Back to the Sunday movie. Hi. Yeah, back to the Sunday movie. So, yeah, and I'm sure there's Sunday movies now. Anyway, I'm just going to get the last of this off. Doesn't have to be perfect, of course. And yeah, we'd watch the Sunday movies, and we'd just lie around all afternoon. And because we'd had that little nip, you know, it was really, I think Mum's idea was that it would calm us and relax us, which it did, you know. And because, you know, Dad was home, and Mum would probably think, geez, better get these kids sedated, you know. Yeah, and that was just the way it was, you know. You didn't really question it. It just was the habit. It was a habitual thing. You didn't whinge about it. It was just a family gathering that happened, and we all seemed to love that time together. And it was a good time to learn things like humor, sadness, grief, trauma, you know, all these emotions, because you're sitting around, and so you're actually looking at what your parents are doing. How are they reacting to this movie? You know, if something startling happens, you know, do they jump? If something hilarious happens, they laugh hilariously. If it's just something funny, they have a little giggle. If it's sad, you know, you might see them wiping away a tear or something like that. So you learnt emotions by feeling, because you would feel this thing, and so you'd look at your parents for reassurance. You know, oh, I'm having this feeling watching this show. I'm looking at my parents. Oh, they're feeling it too, because I can tell, because they're you can physically see what this emotion is. Excuse me. That just don't suck in any of that sterilizer. It's quite strong. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, this is nearly finished. Where was I in the conversation? Oh, that's right. So we would be sedated, we'd be happy, you know, probably a little, whoa, like ready for a nap, a sleep, you know, ready for a bit of a sleep. And I think this is just about done. So yeah, this is one of those woks from a kitchen, you know, probably one of those either Italian or Asian shop, I'd say. Oh, I've got to lean back and do some, yeah, it's like having a physical workout doing this. So anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, the motion thing. So yeah, and as children, you don't imagine or you don't realise that you are learning something, you know, while you're watching the afternoon movie. But obviously we were learning language. A lot of it was American. So, you know, you had to learn, you know, their humour. You know, it's not the same as English humour. And of course, okay, that's it. I'm not doing any more. And then I'll let that settle down for a bit before I start straining it, but it won't be long and I'll be able to do that. And I don't even know if I'm doing it right, but I seem to, you know, have some sort of idea. So that can go into the washing up bowl, and that's why I've got the washing bowl at the sink, because I just feel that it's so much easier to have it ready there and the sterilizer one behind me, because it's not in the way. I do need to get another little stand for it, and it'll just make my workspace a little bit easier. Even though I'm in the dungeon kind of doing, it does make it a little bit different. So what am I talking about? Yeah, so this is why. And so years later, you know, I went out flatting and living on my own and working and saving and buying things and doing a lot of life, you know, a lot of life. Wasn't always great. Some of it was pretty crap, actually. Some of it was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. This is, you know, this is not what I expected. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want these people hurting me. I don't want these people destroying my happiness, you know. But this is what happens in life, and everyone goes through it. So you've just got to grab it and go through it the best way you can. Oh, it's getting really thin. It's getting really thin. You know, do the healing. Do the healing. Make sure you work on the healing, because you know, there's no point in going through life hurting all the time, you know, being judgmental, being out of your mind. It's a good idea to do the healing, and then you can forgive yourself for being in those situations. You learn your mistakes. You learn who not, you know, your sixth sense comes in somewhere there along the line, and you it's going to be a really light, fragrant one. I didn't put as much Frangipani in, so it's going to be a little bit lighter than the other ones. I am not sure about the colour, whether this colour is going to stay or go. That's interesting enough. And just wash my hands. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, life is great, but you know, you do learn, and I really believe this, that I learnt having my parents show me their emotions by watching these movies, midday movies, because we were able to gauge how they reacted to different situations. So, you know, people are like, how much TV did you watch? Did you watch? Get that word out, Tina. Get that word out. And we watched very little TV because we weren't allowed to watch it in the morning. My mother would put on the radio and we'd have ABC. So it was mainly classical, no words. It was just classical music. So when we got up in the morning, there was this beautiful classical music, and we actually got ready for school. So there was no arguing or fighting. We weren't watching TV where we'd be sitting there and she'd be like, come on, get ready for school. And we're like, no, we just want to wait for this to end. You know, there was no arguments. There was nothing like that. It was pretty serene because we were listening to Mozart and Tchaikovsky and, you know, Strauss, and, you know, we're just listening to this beautiful, beautiful music. And I really remember these things as a child, and well, growing up, you know, as an adult, looking back at my childhood, I found these things that I remember to be blissful amongst the chaos and the madness, and of course living. And so where was I? Coffee. I know I forget where I am and I can't remember what I'm doing. This has settled a little bit. So what I'll do is get my siphon, which I keep up here because it can drip dry, you know, drip away. I am going to give this one a little bit of sterilizing as well. I like to sterilize everything. This has been washed and sterilized, but because I haven't used it for like, how many weeks? Must be 4 weeks. I'm going to just sterilize it. So it's going over here. It's going into that container. Yeah, so it's looking almost like pear juice, isn't it? It's looking really interesting. So that'll go into these demijohns. So once I tip these up, just want to get most of that water out. The other one will have most of it out. So anyway, where was I? So yeah, learning the emotions. So even though I had tragedy in my life, and I've had a lot of that, I actually have been able to utilize some of the things that happened, you know, cook a nice dinner, watch a nice movie, or a funny movie, or a horror movie. I mean, I love horror. I love, you know, a lot of these crime detective shows. And I think to myself, how did they do that? How did they get away with it? How did he think he could get away with that? Or how did she manage that? You know, that was pretty, it doesn't even come into my mind, but I'm just like, wow, that would not even come into my thoughts. I'm thinking about, what am I going to plant next season? Oh, that's a lovely strawberry. I'm not thinking, now if I grab that person and then put it in the trunk of my car and take it away and put it in the dungeon, you know, I'm not, it's just like, oh, look at that leaf, how splendid are you? Anyway, so where am I at? Okay, so I'm going to get one of the demijohns. This one's been upside down, so it's the driest of them all. And I'm going to, I've got a little thing that I can drain that out. But I think I might actually stick the strainer in there. I'm just going to stick this in here. Oh, I've got a funnel. Wait a minute. Let's do the funnel because I do end up spilling things. I made the funnel out of a drink bottle. And I got these from the secondhand shop. So there's certain things that I bought from secondhand shops. There's some things that I've made, like the funnel. It's just a drink bottle, but it works, you know. Save money where you can, because when you want to buy things that you really, really need, you can then have the money for. Like fertilizer, to get 1 bean for the month. Anyway, so this is what's going on here. I'm just going to grab this, which I'm going to quickly, okay, and sterilize it. Beautiful. And I'm just going to run a little water through here just to, because I have sterilized that. How is this not working today? Oh, because I've got this in there. All right, I'll do this then. I do a weird thing. I know I'm going to get water everywhere, but okay. Okay, do that. Beautiful. It's mainly for the outside and the inside, like for this one. Just pop this over here. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to go very shortly. Because I have, you know, time is going, and I'm sure you don't want to hear me waffling on anymore. I just thought, yeah, and so then you put this in here, and this is how you siphon it off. I've probably done one about this before. So this goes into your fermenter. And the way I'm going to do it is the way that my friend showed me, and that's to siphon it into a jug first. So it can be clipped on. I have got bigger jugs for this. I'm just doing this for the time being so you can get an idea of how it's all going to work. Pull that up a bit. Okay, and then that will go down lower than this actual tank here. And I'll fill it up. So, where was I in my story? Yeah, so emotions. So are children, tell me this, do you think that children are missing out on learning valuable skills that they can then resource on later on in life. Like, oh, I am not well, I've seen something awful, I've been through something terrible. What resources can I draw out of my psyche to get over this problem? I'm wondering if, the children that have to sit in front of these screens all the time are learning emotion well, because emotion is a learnt thing, Otherwise they're like, in front of this screen. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. Oh, was that funny? I don't know if that was funny, because you're not really looking around and going, oh, yeah, that was funny. Or, oh, that's sad. Yeah, I can see mum crying too. So I don't know. I don't know. I have a feeling it could be. So why don't you start having lunch with your family? Oh, that rhymed. All right. So I'm just going to quickly go in here and spill it all over the floor. That's really handy. Okay, so that's now draining. Just want to dry my hands here a little bit. And I'll just do this. Oh, okay. My thing isn't long enough to do that. I'll get it pumped first and then I'll put it down. That'll be the easiest way. Okay. And I only need to get this full and then I'll be, so I think you can see that it's coming out. So yeah, I'm just going down there. I want it down the bottom. Oops. And then I'm just going to lift this up when it's full. Okay. Here we go. So this is getting lighter, a little bit lighter. Yes, why don't you just go and buy a bottle? So anyway, going back to, I'm nearly finished this story. So going back to mum in her little dressing room. So yeah, she ended up giving me the wine making things. 25 years ago, I suppose. 25 years ago. I remember I was talking about wanting to do wine, and I was talking with her, and she said, well, I'm not making wine, so why don't you have this? And so it was given to me, and all that time that I've had it, I have never really used it. And she passed away 18 years ago. And so, I've had the bottles and all her bits and pieces and I haven't been able to make them. But I was invited over for a dinner with lovely friends that I used to do dun drumming with. And they were belly dancers and some African dance as well. And I had dinner, and when I went to the toilet, I came out and went to wash my hands in the bathroom. Here was her bathroom, all beautifully decked out with the stills. And I said to her, oh my gosh, do you make wine? And she said, yes. And I said, oh my gosh, I need you. And so it turns out, that I actually, I should be using a bigger jug, but I have sterilized this one, so it makes it a little bit easier just to do it this way, because this is already washed, so I'm already doing this. So yeah, and so thus I became the queen of wine, because Trish and Thomas, should I say that? Oh, I might get you in trouble. Taught me how to do the wine. So I'm really, really happy that they taught me, and that now I'm learning, and I'm making my own different flavors. And I'm going to be doing it until I only make about 10 bottles at a time. So, and I drink very occasionally. So, it's looking, but it smells like you cannot, I can't even tell you what this smells like. It's floral, it's sweet, it's yummy. And the floor's going to be really sticky because I'm really messy trying to get this done. Anyway, so that's the story. And so then, you know, so many months later, Trish and Tom came over and they started teaching me the finer arts of winemaking. And I've probably thought I've mucked it up a few times and, you know, not really done it right. But actually, there's not a lot you can muck up. It's pretty much do this and see what happens. Like I said, I made strawberry wine last time and it was a lovely after dinner wine. This lot, it's going to be a sparkling white, I think, because it took, you know, hardly any time to be bottled off. Yeah, to be bottled off. So, ooh, nearly got one. It's not going to make as much as I think. It might only make 2 batches. 10 litres. So these might be bigger bottles. They might be 5 point something, which would be interesting. So, that's all right. Yeah, I was only making a small one of these. Last time I made twice this amount. And it was really, really yummy. So, yeah, really yummy. It really was. So that's the story of the winemaking, how I became a winemaker and why I'm down in my dungeon making wine. Because I enjoy a little glass with dinner and I enjoy a movie and I enjoy having emotion. Ooh, so good. All right, I think I'm nearly finished one. And this is what's going on. So you've had a story, you've seen me do the wine, it's as it was, you know, and I'm not saying my childhood was great. There was a lot of things that were really crap, but these are happy memories that I remember. And I'm just like, wow, I remember that. That was really a lovely time. They were good memories. I wonder, you know, this is part of what made me. So then you've got to get your thing. Which one will I put on? How about one of these? Okay, I've got this one. Is this going to fit in here? Let's have a look. So, yeah, and it's got to be above that, you know, you've got to leave a little bit of air in there. There's air in there. And a chair as well. I think I can put the rest of that in. Just, yep. I might not put this one in this one, actually. Might need another one. Hang on a minute. Oh, this one. Okay, let's try this one. Yep, that's probably the better one. Fits in that one. They're all slightly different. And, you know, I've got these ones as well. So this one's an old type fashion one. And this one's a newer version. But it doesn't matter. You just need to get the lock in. This will go down further into the bottle. This won't go down as far. But I wrap a little bit of cling wrap, or you could wrap something around that. I've just got to get some water in here. And usually that'll be boiled water out of my kettle. So I'll just push it in here and leave it for the time being. Oh, yep. And there we have it. And so that will sit. Hey, that will sit. Let me put my glasses on and drink the rest of my coffee. Just got a little sip left. Hey, yeah, I can't see who's texting. But anyway, that is the end of that coffee. So there we have it. Yeah, it's a little bit dark. Sorry about that. It's just that I am working in the dungeon and making wine. My mother, Ma, whatever you call your Ma. And this is the beautiful, beautiful wine. And this is the beautiful, beautiful bottle that Graham gave me. And this is what I'm doing, making Mum's wine, and I'm really delighted about it. And maybe what will happen is that I'll get tired of making it and I won't want to make it anymore. But she's got a load of different types of recipes what to make, you know, elderberry, mulberry, you know, potato wine, you know, all these different types. And I would at least like to try to go through the book, you know, because Mum would have really made all these things. Oh, that's a bit better. I was almost lying down there. Yeah, and she would have made all those wines with her friends, and they would have shared a bottle here and there. She would have probably rocked up to the 10 a.m. Art Society meet and greet with a lovely bottle of Frangipani wine, and they would have all had a little glass and had a merry old time. So that's what I think, you know, she made it for, was not to just drink on her own, but enjoy and share it with other people and share the experience. And I really do, and I have been enjoying this. It would be nice to have some shelves up here and there so that I'm not, you know, cramped up in this little area. But you know what, I'm actually doing okay with how I'm doing it. I just want to get a couple more of these containers, and they'll be going on my list. So next time I'm out, I'll make it a little bit simpler, because when you actually stand these in those boxes, you can fit 3 in a box. And I'd like one just for drying, you know, just so they dry well. I mean, it's drying okay here. I just lie it down on the good old washing machine and it dries mainly out. But I'm going to get going. I have, you know, actually got a lot happening this morning. I really want to get that the bottling done. So while I've got the sterilizer and the wash, I just want to give those bottles and get them ready to bottle up, rack up. Yeah. So anyway, peace on earth. And yeah, Christmas is coming. Oh my goodness, what's going on? What's going on? Christmas is coming. Yeah, I don't really love Christmas, but anyway, it is coming, and it's always going to be this same time of year, unless you're a religion that doesn't have Christmas, of course, and then you don't have it this time of year. But we have it this time of year because I am celebrating with whoever wishes to celebrate Christmas, even though I don't particularly love it myself. And I think it's, you know, Mum loved it, you know, with the kids, and it was just beautiful. But anyway, I'm going. I've taken too much time. Cheers. I've got all the that down there. I've got this here. I've still got lots to rack off. I'm going to get going. Be kind to each other. Okay, ciao for now. Bye. Okay, how do I turn it off? Oh, hang on, I need glasses. That's right. I'm down in the dungeon. I can't see what I'm doing. I'm putting my specs on. Just part of being, yeah, part of being. Oh, yeah, how do I turn it off? This is bizarre. Yeah, I don't know how to do it now. They've changed it around a little bit, and it doesn't say how to do. Oh, hang on, there's a button there. Close, open, mute. How do I turn you off, please? That's interesting. That is really interesting. Usually there's an on-off button, usually there is a thing somewhere. Hey guys, top fans. Got quite a few of you here. Hi. I don't know how to turn it off. Oh my goodness, how do I do it? There's usually a button. Oh, is that it there? Hang on a minute. I'm just going to push this button.